Dean Brummett has gone 2 for 2 so far on the season, pulling away with a 19-point advantage atop the point standings. Tonight, however, we test not only his, but the rest of the SRN Glytch Truck Series' road racing ability. I am Emerson Arden. My good friend and colleague Landon Cardulo is alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening, and we're excited to be bringing you live coverage from the virtual Sonoma Raceway here on the iRacing.com motorsports simulations platform. Landon, road racing in stock cars is a totally different beast from what we normally see on a weekly basis. Can you tell us more about how the massive elevation swings can affect these trucks tonight?
Oh man, first and foremost, just want to say I'm glad to be here back at Sonoma. I've been here quite a few times personally. Such a amazing experience. Talking about these trucks, I mean, we're going from downhill to uphill to turn, to left turn to right turn. I mean, it's a totally different beast than the past 2 weeks we've been at. And averaging 160 feet of elevation coming from the highest point, which is going to be in turn 3, to the lowest point in turn 10. So there's going to be a lot of different weight shifts within these trucks going up these hills and down these hills. So it'll be exciting to see how these guys can maintain this the stability in the trucks.
Well, here we are in the qualifying. 90 seconds left in qualifying for these drivers. The set time, Schaefer, Jensic, Balliet, the top 3 times so far on the charts. Landon, we do have some points to go over into tonight's race. Let's go ahead and look at our point standings this evening. And there you are. You have them on your screen there. You can see it's Dean Brummett, the driver atop the standings, 2 wins to his name. He's got 99 points there. He has 45 already above the cut lane. Landon, Kyle Westwood sat second, Purnell third, Herman fourth, Ryan Johnson through the top 5. But we're looking at drivers down below that cut line right now, Landon. Reese Schaefer in 17th, Joshua Balliet in 20th. Those two are right now 1st and 3rd in qualifying. And now that I think about it, Sean Jensic isn't even on this list, Landon. 3 names right there that we could see make huge improvements in their point standing positioning tonight.
Yeah, Emerson, and you know, we're going back to Daytona in Las Vegas, and we saw, you know, Reese Schaefer, he had some issues within the 2 races, and same with Joshua and Sean. So I believe, you know, from past experience, past seasons, I mean, we look at Joshua Balliet, and he's a mastermind when it comes to these road courses. So
absolutely,
having him up here is, you kind of expect it, you know, if you're in this series. So not the past 2 weeks that they wanted to have, definitely, but this is for some of those drivers like Reese and Joshua. And we also know that Sean is very good at road courses as well, as we've seen him at, you know, Watkins Glen last season, the season before, where he's been dominant. So I'm pretty sure that, you know, these guys right now is where the season starts.
Absolutely, Landon. And I think, you know, about it, we had 2 very chaotic races to start the season with Daytona and, of course, with our last outing in Las Vegas. Very, you know, plate style tracks. Let's go ahead and get through our starting lineup for tonight's race. And here is our starting grid. It's Reese Schaefer, our pole time setter here in the number 17 machine. 1:16.7 was the fastest time here for the Glytch Truck Series at Sonoma. Sean Jensic starts second. It's Balliet and McAvoy, row 2. Cole Martin, Ryan Johnson, row 3. Lane Hosler, Michael Politis, 7th and 8th. Brad Herman and Dean Brummett, your 2-time winner on the season, 2 for 2, starts 10th. Landon?
In 11, we got Lane Doyle. In running out the top 12 is Timothy Latham. 13th, and we got Gabriel Ellison. In 14th, we have Devin Zimmerman. Sorry, it's hard to see. Emerson, you got the podcast or the points thing still up on the screen.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. 17th, Kyle Westwood. 18th, Tyler Markle. 19th, Mark Morton. Rounding out the top 20, Jordan Sailors.
And the next few drivers, we have Bradley Brandon, 21st, Branson McCann, 22nd, Austin Pinnell sat 23rd, Byron McDonald, 24th, rounding out our field tonight, Craig Schroeder, Gerald Poole, Ab Hewins, and Justin Michael. That is a look at your grid for this evening. Look back at 10th, or I'm sorry, 1st through 20, I'm sorry, 11th through 20th as well, and back to the top of the lineup to kind of get a look at where your favorite driver will be starting tonight here. Very sunny out here in Sonoma, California, NorCal. Very very difficult conditions out there. The track temp is going to be way up there tonight, Landon, which is also going to affect these drivers and their battle for grip this evening. We can take a look at our pole sitter there, Reese Schaefer, that blue number 17 pit stop TV machine. And that kind of reminds us, Landon, right there, a couple tank trucks at the front of the field. We have some teams to go through tonight, Landon, kind of walk us through our teams.
Absolutely. First team we want to mention in this Glytch truck series is going to be 777 Motorsports of Jay McDonald and Kyle Westwood. Coming up next, Ion Motorsports, Gabriel Ellison, Sean Jensick, one of the guys that we mentioned. A couple other names that we will definitely see during the race. Another team that mentioned is Gear Up Motorsports, Timothy Latham, Doc Holliday, Jordan Sailors, Lane Doyle, Mike Tipton. Those are some guys in there that we definitely see week round. Jonathan Byer Racing as well. Justin Michael, very dominant this past couple weeks. Dean Brummett, two-time winner so far. Pilot, we got Ryan Johnson, another familiar name, Lane Hosler, Michael Politis, and Brian McAvoy. Of course, can't forget about Tank Racing, Joshua Balliet, Reese Schaefer, starting on the front 2 rows, Devin Zimmerman, Tyler Markle, and Landon Lacey. And of course, got to shout out our independents, Brandon McCannon, Brad Fullman, and Josh Mueller.
That was a look of our truck team team intros for tonight's race. Here we got Reese Schaefer lining up here on the front row. To the outside will be the 29 of Sean Jensick. These drivers getting ready to do battle tonight here at the Sonoma Raceway. VIRacing.com safety vehicle has found its safety into the pit lane. The field in the hands of Reese Schaefer, and we're about to turn these boys loose. We're racing in wine country. Schaefer forced wide there by Sean Jensick. Now Balliet trying to shoot the middles. Brian McAvoy takes it to the point.
Yeah, these guys are all over the place right now. I mean, you saw Sean Jensick get a little wide, kind of shove off Reese Schaefer there, but it looks like they followed back in line, so they're all good to go.
And now McAvoy leads the field from Balliet, Jensick, Schaefer, and Ryan Johnson, the top 5. Cole Martin, Lane Hosler, Brad Herman, Michael Politis, and Brummett dueling it out for that 10th position. We can look at that battle for 9th.
Yeah, and if you're one of these drivers right now, it's early. It's only lap 1, so you want to make sure that you're keeping it clean and you don't want to get off on the dirt or the dead grass. My mistake. It definitely gets you loose and have you spun out.
Looking back there. Back at Brian McAvoy out in front of the field. Joshua Balliet trying to size him up under attack from Sean Jensick, though. We do have some trucks around. Bradley Brandon, Branson McCannon in trouble. McCannon went around there off, it looks like turn number 10. Maybe we'll be able to catch a look at it here. What happened to... This is Bradley Brandon in the 35 machine. Just caught that curbing there in turn 10. Unfortunately, right there. Ooh, nearly coming together there with the 10 machine. And McCannon looks like he did the same.
Yeah, very fortunate that that was just a simple half spin. No real damage to any of the vehicles that were involved. Actually, no damage at all. Good job for everybody avoiding that, because that was very sketchy.
Absolutely. Here's this battle for third, shaping up here. Sean Jensick, Reese Schaefer, as they work their way through turn number 9. Jensick under attack from the 17, the pole sitter, Reese Schaefer. Very close, coming out of turn 10. Is there an opportunity here in 11? Jensick able to hold serve. out of turn number 11 and that heavy traction zone. These drivers fighting for rear grip as they get up through the gears. Out of 11, crossing the start finish line through turn 12, through turn 1, and up the hill back to turn 2. Hard on the binders again, keeping it nice and tidy. Jensic going a little wide. They're trying to use up all the track, but Schaefer with a better run up off the corner.
Yeah, and these guys are just trying to find the rhythm in this track right now. I mean, it's lap 3 out of a very long 55 laps here at Sonoma Raceway, and everybody's just trying to, like I mentioned before, keep it clean, get in the rhythm, and try not to get your right sides or left sides on that non-racing surface, because if you do, you got dirty tires, and then you just lose all stability in your truck.
Alb Hewins has had a moment, but we have a battle for the lead. Balliet was right on the tailgate of the 79 of McAvoy entering turn 7.
Yeah, and we were going to wonder when the 7 of Joshua Balliet would be up there contesting for the lead. And as of right now, these trucks look very, very similar in pace. As you see the 7 of Balliet get a little bit closer, but it looks like McAvoy just pulls off on the exit.
Brian McAvoy leading the show, 3 complete here in Northern California. The Balliet stalking the 79 truck as they both crest over the small hill down in turn 1. They got another little hill to climb here as they'll drop down here through turn 2 and now into turn 3A. McAvoy clipping that curve. Was 5/100ths faster than the 7 of Balliet last time by.
Yeah, Balliet's really, really fast right now, and at this moment you're kind of just thinking, do I want to just wait and see if I can pressure him, kind of get him a little out of his groove, or do I want to try to force it in there and lead as many laps as I can? But at this point, I mean, this track it's very tough. It's very skill set. And just having the right lane and having the right kind of push to be able to get past that person is a very tricky thing to have at this track.
Absolutely. So closing the gap there between the two. Off the corner, McAvoy still holding that coveted position. Here's the battle here between Herman and Cole Martin. Herman on the right side of the track. Cole Martin to driver's left. Herman clears by the 51 machine. And now Herman up 2 from where he started. Martin down 3. Very tight here. Michael Polita trying to get in on the action as well.
Yeah, very, very clean pass that Herman did on Martin. I'm pretty sure Martin was just like, hey, I don't want any trouble as of right now. I'm just trying to keep it clean. Let Herman by. Very, very clean corner there.
Battle for the lead still holding as Balliet trying to fill the mirror of the 79. Balliet really attacking the braking zone to the inside. He peaks. Has to force McAvoy to open the wheel. Balliet to the inside through the apex of the corner. Now they're side by side. McAvoy, though, better through the traction zone. Side by side through 12. Across the stripe into 1. Balliet on the right. McAvoy on the left. Who can run it up the hill better? Balliet goes to the lead. McAvoy, will he be able to fight this one back? Balliet goes to the lead here. Will he be able to run away? Jensic, there's that 29 machine. Looks like Bradley Brandon and Byron McDonald have had issues. Byron McDonald looks like he lost it there off of turn number 11. Let's see if we can see what happened to Byron McDonald on the 24 and Bobby Anderson to the inside into turn 11. McDonald just way up high. Oh, and he just loses it under power.
Yeah, and that's very common here in Sonoma, especially turn 11 being one of the trickiest corners at this track. I mean, you're going from a very, I wouldn't say really fast corner, but it's somewhat fast corner down a very simple straightaway going about I want to say 120, 130, breaking down over 40 miles per hour, I believe. And it's just, you got to slow down a lot, especially on these older tires that we're going to be experiencing here later in the race. I mean, it's really hard to slow these trucks down.
So Schaefer makes easy work of Sean Jensick there. And Bradley Brandon is having a tough time in that 35 machine. He's gone off the track several times now. He's been in the wall a couple times. He's already getting lapped by Joshua Valiette. An unfortunate opening run for the 35 machine. The fortunate thing for him is that Bradley Brandon is the only truck one lap down here in about 10 laps time, Landon. We do have that stage caution that he could try to bail himself out with.
Absolutely, Emerson. And if you're Bradley right now, I mean, it's very tough. You know, a lot of these drivers haven't been to this racetrack before or even set foot on it. I mean, I bet you some of them just purchased it this week. So it's a very tough track, and get in the rhythm, you don't have to go as fast as what you think you can. Just kind of pace it around the corners, keep it clean, and then you'll be in the perfect lucky dog spot right there.
Sean Jensick has hit the pit lane in the number 29 machine. And you know what this is, Landon? This is a strategy call. He may be working this race backwards, even though he does know about the stage caution. Sean Jensick may be playing a weird strategy. Maybe he'll be able to stay out at the caution period.
Yeah, Emerson, this is actually kind of surprising me. I mean, this is really, really early for hitting. I mean, we still have quite a bit more laps to go till the stage end, and then it's a 55-lap race. So I'm kind of curious to see what the 29 of Sean Jensick is planning here.
Will be intriguing for sure, the 29 machine. But he stopped in the stall. He's not getting tires. Is this a fuel-only stop for the 29? And you know, this is a really long pit stop now. I don't know what's up with the 29 of Sean Jensick, guys. This is a 33-second pit stop and counting. Oh, did he speed? Oh my gosh, Lane, I completely forgot. He might have sped.
Oh no, that's definitely something you don't want here. But again, if that is the case, Sean is a very fast driver. You've seen it prior last before he came into pit, and if he can keep that lucky dog spot, then he'll be in good hands. But I mean, this even seems a little bit longer for even a speeding penalty.
I don't know about this now. He's lost a lap to Valiette. Sean Jensick, one of our front runners, Landon, in trouble early. Something amiss on the 29 machine that he had to come to pit lane.
Yeah, Emerson, I'm curious to see what actually happened there. Hopefully nothing too serious, but yeah, very interesting.
Hosler now into the 4th position as a result of Jensick pitting and powering past the 38 of Ryan Johnson. So Lane Hosler move him up 2 spots in the span of less than a lap. And that 61 machine. He's made easy work of Ryan Johnson here. Here we go, another battle. Timothy Latham under attack. Gabriel Ellison. If I'm not mistaken, I think these are 2 former teammates of one another a couple seasons back in the Cup Series. I'd have to double check that. But nonetheless, I do remember both of these names competing with each other week in and week out in the Cup Series a couple seasons ago. Now they meet each other once again in the Glytch Truck Series.
Yeah, Emerson, I think you're right. I think they were previous teammates, and that just goes to show, I mean, previous teammates, you guys are going to race each other with respect, as you would think. But, you know, it's Speed Racing Network. Anything can happen. So as you see that, the 27 of Gabriel Ellison passes Timothy Latham, and Latham just gave it to him. Ton of respect right there.
Another battle here. There's our point leader, Landon. Dean Brummett sat in 12th. Oh no, and an incident, a multi-truck incident between Gerald Poole and Mark Morton. The point leader after week 1. Mark Morton has already taken it to the pit lane. Devin Zimmerman has had an accident as well. Big time incident here. We'll try to see what happened. Or are they all separate incidents? They may all be separate. The three of Gerald Poole all by himself back across the track. Oh my goodness. So Gerald Poole has no problem. Something amiss with the 33 of Zimmerman. He's down in turn 11. He loses it. Oh no. Wheel hops the truck under braking. And he'll eat tire barrier.
Yeah, heavy damage to that 33 truck of Devin Zimmerman. I mean, it's you know, in real life, those tires would move. But unfortunately, here in the sim, they're stable objects, and it definitely caused the engine to blow right there as we see the 8. Oh, wow.
Oh, big impact from Mark
hard
Morton.
hit.
Bobby Anderson has to skirt through.
Yeah, it looks like 8 just... It looks like he took the turn a little bit too hard, too fast, and it just kind of shot him into the inside wall and then back into the outside wall, and it just, yeah, nothing he could do there.
And Landon, that was 3 big incidents, all in the span of 1 lap. I mean, that is just a product of this racetrack. These trucks, they're difficult to control around here, Landon. Another thing is, right, you think of, you know, stock cars racing at Sonoma, you think of the cup cars. These trucks, you gotta remember, the tailgate, or sorry, the rear ends of these trucks, the beds of the trucks, makes the rear end so light. And where's all the power coming out of, Landon? The rear tires. So
Absolutely.
You're doing a light rear end with massive power to the rear tires, and it's not good news for anybody. Is Balliet working through lap traffic? A truck sliding around there. That's the 24 of Byron McDonald. And this is interesting here. Oh my goodness, the truck spins out right in front of the leader. And Land, this, if you're Joshua Balliet here, this is where you have to be patient. We were watching last night's truck race with where Jacob Zala was the leader, right? And his biggest thing that you know we were mentioning to ourselves that he needed to be doing was staying disciplined, staying patient with the lap trucks. Now we know Balliet can't do that, but it's about executing that in a live race scenario. That is another thing.
Absolutely, and I mean, you're sitting with a, you know, the second place guy behind you is about 2 seconds back, so you got a little bit of leeway on how much you can push it. I mean, you definitely don't want to push it hard enough to where you get involved in somebody else's mess, which causes damage to your own truck, because at that point, there's really, it ruins your whole race pretty much. So you just got to sit back, kind of let the guy in front of you see where he's going, do what he's not doing, which is, you know, if he's swerving in and out of traffic, then you don't do that. You just want to be patient, and whenever you have an open lane, you get past them.
Byron McDonald has had another off. We'll try to see what happened here. This is coming through turn 9 on the way to 10. Loose in. Oh no, in second place, McAvoy gets involved.
Wow.
And let's try to see.
It didn't look like McAvoy hit him too hard, but that definitely could do a little aero damage.
You see it right there, Landon. There. Not major damage, but damage is there.
Absolutely, and it's not a bad thing, especially at this track, because you're not really using as much as that aero and that downforce as you need to, since it's more corners than it is straights. But it could definitely hurt in the long run if you're down on speed.
Absolutely. So Brian McAvoy now a little damper on the day now, but he's under attack from Reese Schaefer. He's got to move past that quick. This is where the shining stars of the series will come to life, right? Is when you have something like that, a distraction to your day, right? If you're Brian McAvoy, how well do you compartmentalize? I think I'm saying that, right? Compartmentalize?
Yeah,
push it to the side, and you refocus your efforts on trying to keep this baby in second, and you know, not run it off the course while you have a potentially faster truck breathing down your neck. Yeah,
we're saying that, like what you said, you you just got to be focused. And me and you, we probably experienced this a lot, where you get in, kind of kiss the wall a little bit, or you enter the corner wrong, and you're kind of just like dazed for about 2 laps, out of focus. So if I'm
Takes you out of your
McAvoy,
rhythm.
exactly, and if I'm McAvoy right here, I'm not worrying about Schaefer right behind me. I am focusing on the road ahead. Yes, I just got into a little binder with a truck that was spinning out in front of me, but if there's not too much damage, just keep your foot on it and don't let that affect you.
Riding on board of Reese Schaefer, and you can see him work the gearbox, the H pattern gearbox these trucks have. Trying to chase down that 79 of Brian McAvoy. Take a look at this battle here. Looks like a 3-truck battle between Cole Martin and Brad Herman, Michael Politis. They're all on top of one another right here. This is down in the 6th position.
Yeah, as we're looking at this 3-way battle, I mean, it's actually kind of cool to see how these 3 different drivers approach these corners. I mean, you can see Cole Martin pulling away right now, but I mean, Brad Herman's taking a whole different lane than Michael Politis is, and Cole Martin's running a whole different lane than Brad Herman is. So it's really interesting to see where these guys find the speed, especially if you're entering the corner. You can gain a lot of time, especially, and also exiting the corner. That is a huge thing, especially on these road courses. If you are able to exit the corner, as we see.
Oh, check this.
Looked like Brad Herman got off the corner a little too. It looked like he got loose, actually, and it brought the 77 Mike Politis right to his back bumper.
Yeah, Herman nearly out of it there. Able to hang on and keep that truck out in front of Michael Politis. Like Jordan Sailors has had another off in that 39 machine. Try to see what happened. And Sailors wheel hopping into the corner. And that's so easy to do, right? Where you over rev the engine on a downshift and you just put more power than those rear wheels can handle, and the rear end just comes around. It's almost a snap.
It really is, Emerson. And if you're...
And the caution is out. We have hit the stage. Completely slipped my mind, but Joshua Balliet, the stage winner over McAvoy, Schaefer, Hosler, Ryan Johnson, Cole Martin, Herman, and Politis. That was the battle for 7th to the end of the stage, so our apologies there. But it looks like it was Herman who holds that position, then over Politis. Ellison falls back to... is 9th over Timothy Latham in 10th.
Yeah, very strong, dominant first stage from Joshua Balliet. We saw McAvoy getting that trouble halfway through the stage, but it looks like his truck is going to be okay. As well as Reese Schaefer, rounding out the top 3, Lane Hosler, Ryan Johnson. I mean, those guys been in the series, like I mentioned, last couple weeks. They know what they're doing. They're up here and running where the respectable positions, where they put themselves to be. So I'm excited and very curious to see what kind of strategy plays in with these upcoming pit stops, because we do have, you can make it on 2-stop or a 3-stop. I believe a 2-stop. I don't know. I believe it's 10 more laps than we had last night, which was, I think drivers could make it on a 2-stop last night. But anyways, 3-stop race today, so see where these guys kind of section out the pit stops.
Well, there it is. Stage 1 complete. Landon 17 on the lead lap. What that means is Craig Schroeder, the driver in the 18th position, will be the first one to get their lap back. It has been a chaotic start to the evening, Landon. Justin Michael did not take the green flag. Al Hewins, Mark Moore, and Devin Zimmerman, Branson McCannon, all in trouble early. Gerald Poole has had some off. Sean Jensick, something amiss with Jensick, had a 2-minute pit stop. I wonder if something maybe happened in real life that he had to attend to. And then Bradley Brandon, Jordan Sailors, Byron McDonald, Craig Schroeder, Just minor mistakes that have put them one lap down. But lane in the field heads down to pit lane, led by the 7 truck of Balliet.
I mean, do you think it'd be kind of a weird call to take no tires and fuel, or do you think these trucks are just
I think
too loose?
with how many traction zones there are here, maybe at a different track, say Watkins Glen, right, where tire wear isn't as crazy, maybe, but I think Sonoma, you're almost forced to take tires. So Balliet down and away leads McAvoy, Schaefer, looks like Hosler and Johnson, the top 5 off the pit lane. And Landon, I think we should be able to get a word in with our stage winner on the evening, Joshua Balliet. Let's bring him on in, driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet. Now, Josh, I know that's not the qualifying you wanted, but after a couple laps, you already made easy work. You were back up to the front. What went wrong in quali, and then how'd you work your way to the front?
Quali was just a bit looser than what we were practicing that whole time, and in the race it took a few laps to actually figure it out. So I was fine being behind McAvoy for a few laps, trying to figure out how much kind of swervy the truck was. So that's really was just the mistake. It's just I just didn't adapt well to how it just started to feel.
Then we had a very, very interesting moment as you approached lap traffic. That first real pack of trucks. What was going through your mind as you saw one truck off, one truck spin, and another truck sitting in front of you?
No matter what you do, you're always going to catch a little bit of a mess. You have to slow down and let them figure it out. It was pretty easy from there. They kind of took themselves out one by one.
Lanny, you got anything to ask our stage winner?
Well, you know, I don't really believe in the whole broadcaster's curse, so I'm not sure you have to worry about that one, but very dominant first stage. What's kind of your mindset going into, you know, this end of the race? I mean, we still got a couple more pit stops. What do you... I know you can't share that information because it's private, but what's the game plan?
Well, the game plan from here is pretty easy. It's just a one stop. It depends if you want to have fresher tires at the end, you split it. Don't know what I'm going to quite do yet because I only got a little taste of what the tire fall off is, but McAvoy is pretty quick, so the game plan is just try and save the tires a little bit better than I did in that 15 lap sprint.
Perfect. Well, everybody, that is your stage 1 winner, Joshua Balliet.
Congratulations on the stage win, Josh. Best luck to you. Hopefully we'll talk to you on the far side.
Yep, thank you.
Driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet. Looks like let's have the lights on the safety car. So we're going to take a brief moment to shout out our partner, Butt Kicker, here. Before too long here, we'll get right back to the racing action here in Sonoma. Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Sonoma Raceway here in Northern California. Emerson R. and Linda Cardulo bringing you coverage of the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series, round number 3. And the field is in the hands of Joshua Balliet Racing, about to restart here from Sonoma. As the field works their way through turn 11. Green flag back in the air. Through VS is a very clean restart. Balliet cresting the hill. He's got McAvoy, Hosler, Schaefer, Johnson, Herman, Martin Ellison, Latham, and Politis, the top 10, all in tow, trying to snake their way up to the 7 truck of Balliet. But Balliet with the clean air out in front.
Yeah, Balliet got a very, very good jump on that restart. Kind of got him away from everybody behind him. And as you can see, I mean, the top 10 hasn't really changed from that first stage. Everybody kind of came off on pit road, the same spot that they were in when the stage ended. The only difference we see is Lane Hosler actually got by Reese Schaefer, which is, I'm watching out for Lane Hosler. He's on the move.
Yes, he is, landing up 4 from where he up 4 from where he started, and has absolutely been on a tear through the field.
Yeah, and another thing to point out, I mean, just how quick these guys from first on back to about the 7th spot, they just kind of tucked in line, made sure that they weren't going to overdrive any corners and kind of ruin anybody else's race there. So these guys are on cold tires, so they're definitely trying to get some warmth in those tires as well. I mean, they had a very long stage caution to kind of build some warmth in those tires as well. But, I mean, when you're full throttling it, it's a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely. Got a battle back here. Politis on Latham. These were teammates last year. Politis and Timothy Latham. Latham holds that positioning right now over the 77 truck. Politis trying to size him up. Here comes Dean Brummett.
Yeah, from the past 2 weeks we saw, I mean, Dean Brummett is definitely the one to watch throughout these next weeks. Especially at a road course. I mean, it's a whole different type of track that we've been to the past 2 weeks as well. But it's also nice to see that Dean Brummett is also making his way back up to the top 10. I don't believe he finished in the top 13 in the stage, but he is definitely making his way back up.
Yeah, so Brummett sat 11. Again, point leader coming into today's race, right? And he had 19 above second place. So Brummett right now just doing an okay job, but damage control, right? He's not too far down the running order. He should still get a decent points day out of today's race.
Yeah, absolutely, Emerson. And we're talking about points here. I mean, Dean Brummett, obviously.
Oh, he's locked in. Yeah.
Yeah, he's locked in, obviously, and leading the point standings for sure. But we're also looking at guys like Kyle Westwood. I mean, we haven't really mentioned Kyle Westwood this race. I mean, he's sitting there back in 16th, and also Austin Purnell is sitting in the 3rd spot in points, which is a very, very respectable spot for Austin, and he's back in the top 15. So definitely this racetrack definitely doesn't suit some of these drivers, but if they can get away clean and keep it off the grass, then I think they'll be in a good spot for keeping the points to where they are.
You know who it does suit, Landon? Joshua Balliet just ran a 1:17.3. The next closest, a 1:17.7. 4/10 clear of the next fastest lap time. Last lap. And the only other person who's ran a lap time close to him all day was Brian McAvoy at a 17.4.
Yeah, and this is something that we kind of expected beginning of the race when we were going, through practice and qualifying. And, talking to Joshua kind of in practice just a little bit, he mentioned that he's in 117s, 116s, but he's trying to also get to the 115 point. So, I don't really think he's too worried about everybody else. I think he's kind of just trying to set a record for himself on trying to get the fastest lap, in which he has done that so far.
Here's a battle. Ryan Johnson all over that rear end of Schaefer. Schaefer not doing the best. Schaefer was running second in practice for most of the time, and right now in fourth and under attack.
Yeah, and we saw this last, on the initial start. Reese kind of dropped back a little bit due to, Sean getting a little too tight, running him off the track a little bit. But, Schaefer didn't really make much movement until closer to the end of the stage. So it looks like to me that Schaefer kind of is just saving his stuff, getting in that rhythm, trying to see what everybody in front of him does. As we have a spinner, it looks like the 35 of Bradley Brandon. Man, what a tough race he is having.
Poor guy who cannot catch a break tonight, Landon. This 35 truck has found just about every tire barrier this evening, and we have not shown you all the thrills and spills from this guy. Oh my goodness! That may need a little bit of a talking to there. That is not okay. Nearly backing up into the racing line as traffic is approaching.
Yeah, and heads up awareness from the two guys that missed them. I mean, they're definitely going to need a change of underwear there. But but going back to what I was saying about Schaefer and kind of everybody on this this track. I mean, yeah, it's not a mile and a half. It's not, a mile track. It's not a short track. But there is definitely tire saving that goes on. And
absolutely.
I mean, you got to make sure that you're not trying to slam the gas right off the corner to where you're just burning those rear tires up, because in 5 laps, 6 laps, you're going to be spinning out. I mean, it's these tires. This track has no grip at all.
I mean, and you think about it, right, Landon? What's the oval everyone refers to when you talk about, road courses? You think of Martinsville, right? Martinsville has a lot of traction zones, and you think of flat ovals like New Hampshire. And ovals where you have a flat, slippery surface, but you have to get on the gas and power through a whole bunch of dirt and debris to get up to your to the higher gears. There's definitely a place for being able to master forward bite into corners and traction zones off of corners. But also, Landon, just in general, NASCAR has been going to more road courses. If you look back, granted, it was during the pandemic, but in 2020, NASCAR hit 7 road courses that season. Yeah,
I mean, I don't hate to say it because I think it's a great thing, but road courses are the next big thing.
They're here to stay.
They are, and trust me, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I've been to Sonoma multiple times in real life, and it's never a dull moment with this track. I mean, there's so much to do. It's so fun. Yeah, I mean, you could see, as of right now, everybody's kind of spread out, and we do have some good battles, but that's just like real life. I mean, you're not there to be like, oh, well, I'm here for a good race. Yeah, you're there for that, but, I mean, it's just the total experience, and this track is absolutely beautiful. I wish we would be here when it's green, though.
Absolutely, in the springtime. But more than anything, right? Yes, you're here to see a good show and a good race, right? When you show up to a road race in person, right? You always want to be entertained. But it's the aspects of entertainment. It changes, right? On ovals, you can't expect those side-by-side battles every single lap, at least somewhere throughout the field. Here, it's road racing. It's strategy, and it's an appreciation for, especially in real life more than anything. But even in the sim, seeing these guys wrestle around in real life, or virtual 3,400-pound beasts, bricks on wheels, with 650 horsepower coming out of those rear wheels and wrestling it around without slamming a wall every lap. That's a work of art to see a NASCAR driver wrestle a stock car around a road course.
Yeah, absolutely. And like where we're tying to back into this race and every other sim racing race at Sonoma or any other road course, it's patience. And as you see, the three kind of got off there. It doesn't look like any damage, so that's good save from him. But like I mentioned, seeing drivers in real life kind of endure the patience that they can, the best that they can, is definitely a huge thing. And it looks like the three kind of let the seven by, so good on him.
But Landon,
yeah.
I think what will really kind of help what I'm talking about, right, is if we ride on board with Balliet. Let's ride on board for a lap. And I know it's just virtual, right? But even then, you have to think, well, being a virtual, you don't, he's not going to experience the same G-forces and the same, movement in the seat as a real driver would. Well, we'll check that because it just looks like we had a big incident between Bobby Anderson and Austin Purnell. Something amiss there between those two. Let's see what happened. Between Purnell and Bobby Anderson running, well, they were running 16th and 17th. Last truck's on the lead lap. Oh no, Anderson goes around. Purnell, well, doesn't hit him. Has to slow it way down to avoid him, though.
Yeah, and that's something that you're kind of thinking in your head, like, oh, thank God I didn't hit him. But they are the two teammates, so that's unfortunate there. But they're probably communicating to each other, like, hey, don't hit me, please. I'm stopped right here. But yeah, I mean, going back to what you said, I mean, I know we saw a little sliver of the in-car of Joshua Balliet, and this is definitely a track that you need practice at. You can't come into this race with a mindset of, yeah, I don't need to practice. It's going to be easy. It's not. I mean, everybody has different braking zones, and I bet Joshua Balliet, I know he's practiced quite a bit, and he's probably got these set braking spots, like right here, probably right at that first cone is when you start braking. I mean, you can't go into turn 11 and hope it sticks. Because I mean, anybody who's watched NASCAR, exactly, anybody who's watched NASCAR over the years, I mean, there was one race, I believe Brian Vickers dumped Tony into turn 11.
Yeah,
Tony did Tony's back end was up on the barrier. So, I mean, that can happen here too, and you don't need anybody to help you with that.
Now, what Balliet is doing is he is short shifting, right? And he is, what that means is he's shifting before he needs to. As right here, he's going to work past the 3 truck here to lap the vehicle of Gerald Poole, 4 laps down. What Balliet is doing is short shifting, right? What that helps is wearing the wear to the rear tires, right? Is limiting, the spin, limiting the amount of temperature you put in those rear tires, but also like saving fuel. There's a lot of things Balliet is doing with short shifting, and I think the scary part for the field is, Landon, he's still a quarter second faster than the field short shifting.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back, what you're saying about the short shifting thing, it's more of it's kind of a harder thing to I want to say mastermind. I mean, it's hard to do. I mean, because you want to make sure, usually when you're shifting, you kind of max out your RPMs and then you shift to the next gear. And that's every little track there is. But like you mentioned, it does save your tires just a bit, but it also doesn't put much stress on your engine because you're not maxing out those RPMs. So, sitting, for example, if you're sitting in second gear, I mean, that's a pretty low RPM, but you're setting that thing high because you're trying to, hit the rev. So, I mean, as you can see, Balliet's just pulling away.
Jump into this battle back here. This one's been going on all race between Brad Herman, Cole Martin, Gabriel Ellison. These guys, they've been on it all day. Looking at... Yep.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it looks like Brad Herman kind of excluded himself from this battle, which he was in earlier, and it looks like the 27 at Gabriel Ellison just... Actually, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Brad Herman has not excluded himself; he is still there. But yeah, these three have just been on top of each other all race long.
Absolutely, Herman has. He's had nothing short of action all day. Brad Herman, Cole Martin, he's been getting into it all day, right? And from the start of the race, we saw Brad Herman gained 3 spots from where he started. Cole Martin lost 2. Behind him, Gabriel Ellison, he's up 5 from where he started. I mean, these guys, they have been on it today. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, right? You know, that does sound like, you know, numbers you wouldn't hear on a typical week, but that's a lot at a track that is very difficult to pass here. Really only 2 braking zones. And you gotta think, in between those braking zones, Landon, is a whole lot of variation of corners that if you're not perfect for, you're gonna lose your opportunity to make that overtake.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as we have a little issue right there,
Craig
but
Schroeder.
let's see what happened here.
10 machine. Loops it around, just slows it down, able to keep it going.
Yeah, and that's just another common thing that we've been seeing, a little wheel hop, a little diving it into turn 11, a lot faster than what you want to. But going back to the battle between Herman, Martin, and Ellison, I mean, like I said, we've seen this pretty much the whole race so far, and these guys are actually racing really, really cleanly. I mean, they're not, you know, bumping each other out of the way. They're setting a decent gap between each other. And it looks like, I mean, I know I mentioned earlier that they're kind of running different lines, but they all look like they have the same pace as that. I mean, and going back to bringing up the points situation again, I mean, we got Brad Herman in 6th. I mean, he is sitting 4th in points right now. So that is a very good run at this very tricky track for Brad Herman. And Cole Martin is a little bit down the list, sitting in, I want to say, 25th in points. Definitely not where he wants to be. Cole Martin is a very, very good race car driver on the sim, so I'm not too worried about him. And then Gabriel Ellison, it looks like he's only made 1 start this season, so this actually will be his 2nd.
Something I think, you know, maybe the overhead view won't do it the most justice, but it'll do some justice, right? And you see the hills, the almost mountains, if you were to compare it to one another, that these drivers go through. You say the highest point of elevation up in turn 3A, the lowest point down in turn 10. You know, looking at this overhead, you can kind of get a view of that right here. These guys cresting a hill, you go down the hill, you take all that down, you know, downward momentum, gravity. If you're pulling the truck down, then, you know, right here through turn 10, lowest point on the track before you start your ascent up the hill again. And we'll see it really here as we watch these two, Herman and Cole Martin, again, battling for that 6th position.
Yeah, and it's, like I mentioned, it's a very unique track. I mean, there's a lot of tracks out there, but I mean, we go from uphill to downhill to uphill to downhill, back to downhill. I mean, right here going into turn 1, I mean, it's all uphill. It's a very big climb. I mean, I've walked the track because they're handing out lug nuts after the race. And it's a rough one. And you go downhill, and then you go back uphill right here, and then you go back downhill. I mean, it's interesting.
Mini roller coaster.
it's a big roller coaster.
Oh yeah, maybe not mini. Maybe wrong connotation there, but for sure.
But I mean, this track offers everything. I mean, it's got a drag strip in it. It's got a race car track. I mean, they run a lot of stuff here, which is perfect for here.
While he didn't qualify on the pole, Joshua Balliet, he qualified 3rd, fell back to 4th. Turn 2, found his way up to 2nd behind Brian McAvoy, sat 3-4 laps behind the 79 truck, and then worked his way forward. Joshua Balliet has led ever since lap 4, and now coming to the stripe with 21 laps to go. It's been all this 7 truck so far. What still has to occur, though, Landon, is a green flag pit stop. And I wonder if any of these guys have practiced pitting under green flag conditions.
Yeah, Emerson, and I'm not gonna lie. This is actually one of, personally, in my opinion, this is one of the easiest pit stops or pit lanes to get into, because you kind of got a straight line getting in, and then you got a kind of a big right-hander, but the line doesn't actually start until after the right-hander, so you can kind of carry quite a bit of speed. But if I'm sitting in 2nd or 3rd or even 6th and 7th, I'm kind of looking and thinking, okay, what can I do to kind of short pit the leader right now? Do I want to come in a little early, take 2 tires, take no tires, you know, something like that? But it's definitely going to be interesting to see here, as we got pit stops actually going to be coming up here pretty soon.
certainly will be on the mind of these drivers very soon. This battle, one that won't go away also, between Latham and Politis. The 5 and the 77 machine. One that's been going on all day. Politis trying to find a way past Latham. Out of 10, down the hill to 11. You can see him jump, or I guess run over those bumps, and the trucks oscillate with the momentum and with the characteristics of the track. And a little hard to find some words there, but Politis does not make that big lunge on Latham yet. He's just sat there. He stalked them. Sideways is Timothy Latham. Now we're going at it side by side. Kyle Westwood has hit the pit lane, but Michael Politis has gone to 9th.
Yeah, and I was about to mention it before you got sideways that these tires are shot. I mean, everybody's loose, everybody's sliding around, and Michael Politis was just waiting for that one incident to happen where Latham just gets loose and he can get by him, and that's exactly what happened.
Kyle Westwood in the 48 hits the pit lane. Down and away a 15-0 in the pit box.
Yeah, and Westwood was one of the guys that, you know, he's definitely up there in points, and it doesn't look like he has been having any, you know, good luck. I mean, I wouldn't say good luck, but he's been keeping it clean this race. Hasn't really been up in the top 10, so he's going to try to short pit here as we see Timothy Latham pull that strategy as well. Try to get as much spots as they can because they are going to have that 4 fresh tires, and from what we saw from last night's race, I mean, those 4 fresh tires definitely make a difference.
So Timothy Latham comes down to the attention of his virtual pit crew. Looks like it'll be 4 fresh ones for the 5 truck, and Latham now trying to maybe short pit the leader. What the effect will be of the short pit, we'll have to wait and see, but Latham down and away. Looks like it was a 14-9 in the box for the 5 truck.
Yeah, and if you look at the leaderboard here, I mean, we got McAvoy 3.5 seconds back, Hosler 4.5, about 5 seconds back, Reese Schaefer not about 8.5 seconds back. I mean, how far do you go down the list until you say, okay, maybe short pitting isn't gonna work? I mean, we got Ryan Johnson sitting in 5th, and he's about 11 seconds back. So
here comes 2 of them, Ellis and Cole Martin coming in.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to see how much of a difference that pitting early is going to make here, because you can gain a lot of time, but you can't gain, more than, like, I want to say 10 seconds worth.
The Latham, the attention of his pit crew, Cole Martin as well. Stopping in the stall. Up onto the jacks they go. Ellison down and away at a 14-5. Sorry, 14-6 out of the box for the 27. It's a 14-8 out of the box for the 51 truck. Balliet with still yet to pick. Kyle Vincent Gilbert pits at a with a 14-4 in the stall. And McAvoy is in, Landon. This is what we're talking about. Will McAvoy bring Balliet in next lap? Schaefer's in, Johnson's in, Herman is in.
Yeah, I think this is the setting point where Balliet's going to be like, okay, I think it's time to come in. I don't want to lose too much time to the fresh tires, but what a strategy. I mean, I know it's kind of in the zone where everybody needs to pit, but I mean, it very curious to see how kind of the 1 lap fresher tires. I know not Hosler, but McAvoy's been kind of keeping up there with Balliet, so is Schaefer, but definitely see what kind of pace that these guys can run now.
Down and away is the 79 machine. Austin Purnell has had a moment on the track. We'll catch up with him in a moment. Schaefer at a 14.7. Ryan Johnson at a 14.7 out the box. Herman 14.6. Polite is going to be the last of those 5 to lead the box at a 14.6. Quickly, we'll try to see what happened to Austin Purnell in the 36 machine. Oh no! Oh no! Massive impact!
Oh my
For
goodness.
the 36!
I don't know what happened there. It just turned dead right.
That truck lost all grip as it came down to the bottom of the hill and settled. Balliet and Hosler, they're into the pit lane, Landon. This is it.
Yeah, this is definitely it. And Balliet right now is just hoping for a nice, clean pit stop. Keeping the time, speed limit on pit road. Don't want to overshoot your box. Don't want to speed on pit road as well. So if he does that, I think he's set.
McAvoy, Markle, they've hit the pit lane. Balliet down and away. Schaefer off of turn number 11. Schaefer, where does he come out? Hosler coming off the pit lane. There's Hosler, and there's Schaefer. Around the outside, Schaefer gets to second, but he is 5.5 seconds back of Balliet.
Oh, McAvoy's
back in. I wonder if he sped. Brian McAvoy sitting in the box. I'd imagine this is a speeding penalty.
Oh, no.
Tyler Markle down and away with full service. But McAvoy led 4 laps on today. Started in the 4th position, and McAvoy still in the pit box. 35 seconds and counting. 40 seconds now. And out of the box now. That was it. That was a speeding penalty. 40-second stop and go. Or
Yeah,
40-second hold.
heartbreaking. Very, very heartbreaking.
Unfortunate. He had a ton of pace, man. A lot of pace. He was definitely on pace to earn some money tonight, Landon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still got to give him credit. I mean, he was probably one of the best trucks with Joshua Balliet.
Absolutely. I mean, right there, the only truck in the field that could run within a 10th of Balliet was this truck, and he sped on pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of curious to see, with Reese Schaefer being on, 1 lap, 2 lap fresher tires than Joshua Balliet. I know Reese would have a little more heat in those tires, and Balliet being on cold tires, see if he'd kind of catch a little bit. But either way, the strategy worked out perfect for Schaefer. I mean, he was, I want to say, 4th when he came in and came out 2nd.
4th,
so
maybe 5th. But he he leapfrogged you for sure. You're right.
If you don't think you can win, I mean, either way, 2nd place is a great points-paying day, especially for the 17 team.
You know what? It pays your entry fee back, Landon, and gives you next week's entry fee paid off as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't beat that. I know it's not a win, but I mean, what, you get to talk to us handsome studs up here. You get some money. You get some good points. So good to see that.
Absolutely, and Reese Schaefer now has the pressure of battling Lane Hosler for the rest of this one, the final 14 here at Sonoma. By the way, Joshua Balliet just set a 1:17.14. What a blazing lap time. And the next fastest was Ryan Johnson at 17:31.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Balliet's going to hit the 115 like he wanted to, but I think his goal is set for 116 right now, and I think he might actually get it with how fast he's going. I mean, he's already put almost a second on Reese Schaefer from when they came out of pit road.
I mean, this guy is on rails. the road courses, you might just have to pencil this guy's name into. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. You know what comes up with our next roadie. What is it? We have another roadie on the schedule. What is it?
I believe it is. I know we go to Road America tomorrow in the Xfinity series.
It's Watkins Glen in the playoffs.
Watkins Glen. Personally, that's one of my best tracks for road courses, but I mean, it's a road course, so you're going to see Balliet up there no matter what.
Absolutely. I mean, he's opened up another second on his teammate. By the way, he just ran another 10th faster, landing a 1:17.03. Cole Martin from 7th position has gone around. Something amiss for the 51. Looks like he'll escape with no damage. But an unfortunate incident for the 51 machine. Let's watch what happened. Oh, the weight shifting there, Landon. The truck settled as he went down the hill, bobbled on him, hit the curbing, and he couldn't control it.
Yeah, when you're that loose and that squirrely going into the corner and hitting the curbs, I mean, there's nothing else you can do. And actually, I want to give a huge shout out for him to saving that too. I mean, you're pretty much backing it into the tire barriers right there, but he kept it straight and kept it going. So didn't lose too many spots, but I mean, it's definitely heartbreaking with 13 to go.
The good news for Cole Martin, he's still in the top 10. The bad news, he definitely lit up those tires, and he's gonna have to baby that thing for the next couple laps before those tires get cooled down again.
And one of the battles that we were looking at before that final pit stop sequence of the 5 of Timothy Latham and the 77 of Michael Politis, it looks like they changed positions again. So we'll see if the 77 will kind of wait it out and see if the 5 will kind of, get loose or mess up a corner and kind of capitalize on that.
Well, you have to think about it. This battle is now up 2 positions. You have to think McAvoy sped and Cole Martin just spun. Now Martin's right behind him. But this battle is now worth 2 more points. And so Politis getting to 7th could be big. Politis was ahead of Latham before the stop. Latham beat him out on the pit cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. And gaining those 2 spots is in points. I mean, it just makes it a little bit sweeter. So
lap truck way out the way, and Landon, it's an unfortunate circumstance here for Bobby Anderson. It said he crashed. I think he was just letting those guys out the way. Or, I'm sorry, letting those guys by. We'll see what happened to the 66 machine. Yeah, he's just trying to let them by. Just, awkward way to do so. Almost looked like he, had a moment there. But Bobby Anderson down to 16th position. He'll carry on. Dean Brummett will make that overtake. Here we go. A battle for second again. Hosler, Schaefer. Well, there, Landon. That's one of your 2 passing opportunities now, Landon. You gotta wait all the way to turn number 4 or turn number 7.
yeah, you don't dare want to try to pass in turn 1 or 2, even 3 or 4. I mean, these corners are very tight, and as we're looking at this, 2-car battle for second and third, I mean, Balliet's just already put about a 9-second lead on these guys. So just smooth sailing for Joshua Balliet, and I mean, even the second and third place guys of Schaefer and Hosler don't even have to worry about 4th place. Ryan Johnson's about, I want to say, 5 seconds back, 6 seconds back from these 2.
So what I'm hearing is, Landon, get it on. Let's fight. Let's see who can come out on top here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, if you do kind of get a little squirrely and get off track just a little bit without, not hurting the truck too much, I mean, you can maybe keep your spot. But I mean, again, it is all about respect. It's 10 to go. It's somewhat go time. I mean, this is a very long 10 laps, but you don't want to make enemies. And as you can see, these guys have been racing each other very cleanly so far.
Lap truck.
Lap truck getting in the fight real quick, but I don't see these guys kind of forcing each other out of the way.
Lane Hosler, who rode on board with him for a lap, trying to find his way around the 17 truck. He gets close. Forces maybe a bobble there out of Reese, but not enough for him. And we got a battle here between the 77 and the 5. Here we go. Belitis on the right, Latham on the left. Cole Martin is in the picture. Who can outbrake who into turn 1? Belitis drives it in deep. Latham closes the door. Wow, what a gutsy move from the 5 of Timothy Latham. I'm not so sure I would have wanted to slam the door on a truck that was trying to dive it into the inside like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a move that you kind of know, either if you make it and something bad goes wrong, you can't really be mad because you kind of have that in your head. But man, what a battle between actually these three, and it looks like Cole Martin's kind of fought back and gotten his time back on these two. So good to see Cole rebounding from that spin a couple laps ago and try to get these spots back.
Absolutely. Cole Martin sees those spots he just lost a couple moments ago. Latham and Belitis, they see some points that they got to keep right behind them. Belitis looks to the inside. Latham defensive. Martin around the outside. Gets bodied there by the 77 truck. A little bit of moving in the braking zone there. If that was F1, that'd be a no-no. But in NASCAR, it is gloves off.
Yeah, it is all for one in NASCAR. So, I mean, if I'm Cole Martin right here, I see these two guys just kind of battling like crazy. So I'm just gonna sit back, relax, enjoy the show until one of them either punts one of them out of the way, or they both mess up. So if I'm sitting, waiting for the top 6 spot, I would rather be Cole Martin at this point. Catbird seat.
I don't know. I mean, Martin, he had a great look at it, but made a little contact with the 77 into 11. All I know, Lynn, is that lap counter ticks down and this battle gets a little hotter.
Yeah, absolutely. No, with these three battling, I mean, Brad Herman is just pulled away from him. Brad Herman's on another world right now in front of him. So
out in front, Brad Herman, he's got about 6 seconds. I'm sorry, Gabriel Ellison is out in front. He's got 12 seconds in front of this, and then Herman 5 seconds up there. It is 11 and a half that Balliet has over Schaefer and Hosler battling for second. These two, this is a battle that won't go away either. This one a lot less chaotic, but much more compact between the two. Hosler's been stalking.
Yeah, these guys are just fighting for the same amount of track right here, and I mean, you can see. I mean, it looks like Hosler's a little bit quicker than Reese in some of the corners, but Reese has definitely got the I want to say the traction left in his rear tires to kind of pull away on the exits. So looks like Hosler can gain on him entry to the corner, and Reese pulls away. So I mean, that's something I'd rather have, traction on the exits than entry, but curious to see what these two do.
Update on Brian McAvoy. He is up to the 14th position. What could have been for that 79 truck. Now he's just trying to stay on the lead lap. Here we go. These two still going at it. Oh, Hosler fighting to the edge of the grip of that 61 truck. Schaefer nice and tidy, but he even losing a little rear grip. Landon, everyone's dancing around the track.
Yeah, these guys are ice skating right now. They're on ice. These tires are shot. But you know what, Emerson? I mean, this is awesome. I mean, this is awesome to see. I know we got battles all over the racetrack right now, but I mean, this is for the top 2 spots, and you're kind of sitting there wondering who's going to do what. I mean, as you can see, we got another battle here. I want to say that's a 42 of Tyler Markle.
Yep, 58 of Kyle Vincent Gilbert, Tyler Markle. They're battling for 11. This battle got close coming through turn 11. No changes here. No, I'm sorry, Timothy Latham lost 2 spots. Try to see what happened here. But Latham out wide. And you know what, Landon? He lost traction there in that 5 truck.
Yeah, he did. I mean, coming out of turn 11, that's one of the biggest parts of the track where you kind of just slam the gas and kind of hope it sticks, because you want to get the perfect run off so you can gain that speed. I was going to say it kind of looked like the 5 kind of nudged him out of the way a little bit, but that looked clean to me.
And then here, Kyle Vincent Gilbert clips the inside curb of 1. Markle drives right on by. And now Cole Martin has gone past Michael Politis out of 7. So Cole Martin makes 2 spots in half a lap.
Yeah, great rebound by Cole Martin from having that spin earlier.
Oh, Latham now on Politis.
These guys are going at it.
4 laps to go. They have to. Politis now playing defense. Latham, look at him, drive it in. He wants to get down to the apex of the corner first, but he can't.
You can see he's pushing. He wants it so bad, and having to lose 2 spots and trying to make ground again to gain them back is definitely one of those gut-wrenching feelings, because you're like, oh, I did so much just to be where I'm at, and now I lose 2 spots. And I mean, we're still battling here for 2nd and 3rd place.
This one's tight, man, but Hosler has not been able to get alongside Schaefer yet. But you know what's happening, Landon? He continues to stalk him. He continues to fill that rear view mirror, make Schaefer think about it. Now 3 laps left, less opportunities to make a mistake. But make no mistake, there are still plenty of opportunities to make the big mistake.
Oh, absolutely. Hosler's just sitting there stalking him. He wants Reese to make a mistake. He's in his head right now. Reese is up there looking in his mirror and being like, okay, when is he gonna bump me out of the way? Is he gonna pass me? What's going on here? And that makes room for, you know, getting off track or kind of overshooting the corner. So I believe that's what Hosler's kind of waiting for. Give him a little bit of room, let him mess up, and then take advantage of it.
Wow, Hosler really getting that curbing there. That turn 7B curbing there. Sorry, that's the 8AAB curbing. That Hosler 8 right there on the right side, driver's right. Oh, Schaefer sideways. Here we go. Hosler looks to the inside, filling the mirror. Can't do anything yet. 2 laps to go this time by. And Schaefer playing to the limits of those rear tires.
You know, I'm looking at these two, and they are about even. I mean, Yeah, Hosler seems to be a little faster in some parts of the track, but Reese is faster in the parts that, Hosler's not. So it is definitely even playing field in there, toe to toe.
Well, here we go. 1.5 laps left in this battle for the second position, going on 13.5 seconds back of Joshua Balliet. But we're not leaving our eyes off this battle just yet. Hosler nearly to the tailgate of the 17.
Yeah, Hosler kind of got in a little deep there, thinking that he could maybe kind of, I want to say bump Reese Schaefer out of the way,
Just
but
a rub.
definitely
Just
a
a rub.
little rub, kind of scare him a little bit. Think that, Reese thinks that he's kind of diving it in there, get Reese out of the groove, but Reese is locked in right now. He's like, I want this spot.
1 lap to go here from wine country. Northern California's Sonoma Raceway has been absolutely dominated by Joshua Balliet. He's led 50 laps on the day. He has a 13.6 second advantage, and it's been all this 7 trucks since lap 4. A near perfect day for Joshua Balliet. He ran a 17. Oh, did not make it into those 16s, but no one has made it to the 16s today outside of the qualifying. And now Balliet using all the track he can there out of 4. It's just half a lap to go, and he can essentially coast from here and still make it to the finish line first.
Yeah, Balliet is riding good right now. He doesn't have to worry about a thing. Oh, whoa! As we saw Hosler get really loose coming out of that corner. A good thing that he didn't hit the right side on the wall, but I think Reese has got this second spot in the bag unless Hosler kind of dives it down into turn 11.
We'll have to keep up with those. Lane Doyle, he has crashed on the final lap. There's Lane Doyle right in front of the 7 of Joshua Balliet. He's going to victory lane here in the Glytch Truck Series. And Hosler sent it. Not a whole lot he could have done there, but Schaefer will come out in second. Lane Hosler will finish in third. Ryan Johnson fourth, Brad Herman, the top 5.
And the battle that we've been seeing pretty much all day of Ellison, Martin, and Politis. I mean, it looks like Cole Martin and Michael Politis kind of separated themselves from Timothy Latham, but it looks like Cole Martin's going to regain that spot, stick it to 7th, and Politis in 8th.
Great battling there to the end. Timothy Latham off of turn 11. He'll finish in 9th. And how about that? Our points leader coming into today's race, Dean Brummett. He'll come out with a top 10 finish. '11th for Tyler Merkel, Kyle Vincent Gilbert. 12th, Brian McAvoy. What could have been for him, finishing 13th. Lane Doyle, he had a last lap off. Finishes in 14th. And how about this guy? Joshua Balliet. He's going to light it up here on the front straightaway at Sonoma. A well-deserved victory, leading 51 of the 55 laps today.
I think he's trying to do a burnout throughout the whole front stretch, but we'll see.
He's trying to do from pit in to pit out. Look at him go.
He said rear tires, what are those?
Can't believe he still got him on there. He's got the double dog leg now.
Probably going to try to do the whole track here.
If he had the engine to do so. Oh!
No! Right at the exit.
Oh my goodness. What a job. What a drive from Joshua Balliet. Well-deserved victory from the dominant driver of the day. Joshua Balliet, Malenko, you led 51 of the 55 laps of today's race. How does it feel to get it done and go to victory lane here in the Glytch Truck Series? EPI victory lane in the Glytch Truck Series.
It feels good after having a pretty bad first 2 weeks. I knew I had to come out and actually let everyone know I'm still in the field, I guess.
Well, there it is, and no doubt about it, you did it today. Being the first non-Dean Brummett winner on the season. No, but absolutely showing that you got the skill to wrestle one of these trucks around a 2-mile technical road course like Sonoma Raceway. Tonight, it was all about, displaying, I'd say the top echelon of stock car racing is if you can wrestle these beasts around a road course. So what was the preparation that went into getting the 7 truck to victory lane tonight?
Well, most weeks I usually don't tend to practice much, especially for trucks, because most of the time the trucks run like a super speedway everywhere. But decided to put practice in, make sure that I was, even though I know I'm pretty good at road courses and stock cars, that make sure I'm up the pace, not making any mistakes. The setup was a handful. It wasn't the best set. It kind of weight shifted really weird, but I was able to get a hang of it there in one of the practices before this. So just I guess practice makes perfect. I don't know.
It seemed like it, and now you did get it done here at Sonoma. That means you got the win. You're locked into the next round of playoffs. So I know it doesn't mean too much to you to really worry about the rest of the regular season calendar. My apologies. I know I was muted on my end. I was not muted on the broadcast end, so I'll ask it again. But yeah, I understand now. You're locked in to the playoffs with this win here at Sonoma. I know you don't have to pay too much attention to the rest of the regular season calendar. But coming up next is Kansas with 1.5 miles, and I know there's going to be a good bit of them in the playoffs if you look at Texas and Homestead. So what kind of game plan can you bring to Kansas now that you're locked into the playoffs?
Well, Kansas for trucks anyway, it somewhat runs like again like the 1.5 mile super speedway type thing, but it's a little bit because you do kind of the wall is a lot of the time preferred, especially when we're running a fixed a setup fixed series like the UPI. So the last time I ran a Kansas race with kind of like a setup that it was against the wall and you kind of ran like you threw sliders. So just it's not really gonna run anything sort of like the other 1.5 miles like Texas Homestead. So just looking to probably just get another good finish. Probably not learn much out of it.
Well, there it is, hearing from the dominant driver of the day. You did not get into those 115s, Mal. I know you were trying to, but you got a 17.0 on the day. Fastest time by nearly 4 tenths. That got too hot. Well, there it is. Congratulations on the race victory. Land, you got anything to add?
I do not, but I do want to point out you did mention that you're trying to hit 115s in practice. And trying to transfer that over to the race. Unfortunately, he only didn't even get in the 116s. But again, congratulations on the win. Very dominant win. We kind of expected you to be running up here anyways. Anybody you got to thank? Any teammates, sponsors, friends, family?
Yeah, Hunterton Anesthesia Associates. Burgerts on the truck. Homie Seth, I know, puts in a lot of work for designing his shirt, shoes, and all that. So check Burgarts out on Instagram, I think, where he's primarily, and I think Facebook as well. But other than that, no, just happy to be back in victory lane.
Perfect, Emerson.
There it is, your race winner. Winner of race number 3 here in the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series, Joshua Balliet dominates it at Sonoma. Congratulations. And best luck to you next week at Kansas. Driver of the number 7, Joshua Balliet. And we have another tank driver to talk to, Landon. I'll send him your way. It's second place finisher, Reese Schaefer.
Reese Schaefer, Landon, and Emerson up in the booth. You got a copy.
Loud and clear.
Well, sorry. Reese, P2 on today's race at Sonoma. Kind of interesting. You started on pole, didn't really lead as any laps that I'm pretty sure you wanted to. Kind of fell back into the top 4, top 5-ish range, but I ended up pulling some pretty good pit strategy to pull you up back in second. How was your day, and what do you think? What could have you done to kind of compete for the win?
To be honest, I don't think there was any way of competing for the win. Balliet was really fast tonight, and we knew that in practice and interaction with him throughout the week. I knew he was pretty quick, and so I was just hoping to finish behind him. But Gen 6 unfortunately kind of locked him up and hit me that turn 1 there when we on the start, and he apologized, and it's not his fault. I mean, how do you spot the braking zone for when you're going only half the straightaway speed? So I'm just glad we didn't die and get wrecked out early. And so then we finished stage P3, and I came in, got some good ones and fresh good years, and Holzer passed me on the restart because the inside or the outside line actually has the preferred line coming into that turn 2/1 area, and and we were going and laps were ticking away, and he probably was like 3 seconds in front of me or 2.5, and I was like, all right, we were coming about 50 or about 20 to go, and I was like, let's pit, see if we can try to jump him, and I came out and right next to him and got him into turn 1 and 2, and I then proceeded to sweat profusely and try to be as wide as I could, and I honestly I can't believe I made it all 18, 17, whatever how many laps it was with him behind me. He was super quick, and I shouted to him a lot, for racing me clean though, and I mean it was great racing the last 17 laps. I don't think I've had that good of racing in a long time, so it was definitely a great race today. I'm just super excited about P2, and honestly that feels like a win for how things went, so can't be more happy than I am. So
Yeah, absolutely. And we were watching up in the booth, that battle for second place, and we're kind of curious on who would make the move, and if Hosler was kind of just waiting until you maybe messed up a little bit. But nonetheless, I mean, what a great battle between you guys. And Reese, we know you as kind of the guy that is, I want to say dominant, because you are dominant, but you're also very consistent. I mean, they did call you Mr. Consistent at one point in the past season. So, I mean, unfortunately, the first 2 races haven't really gone your way, but finishing second here today, what does that kind of do? What kind of motivation does that give you going into Kansas?
yeah, I mean it means everything. First Daytona, fuel strategy, and it's Daytona, right? I mean, all it takes is one guy to, not, make a bad move, and there goes your whole race. So that race, finished P14 there. It sucks, but honestly, it could have been worse. I'm not too mad about that. But then at Vegas, I just, came in turn 3 and lost, and I still have no idea how or why it just instantly snapped on me. But I was able to recover P19 there, which I was actually kind of happy about, because when you're sitting around 10 seconds off pace and looking like you're finished 30th and you come out 19th, it's not the end of the world. And so I knew coming to the road course that my road course game over the years has gotten way better and better and better, and I still have a long way to go, but I've been really satisfied and happy of how my improvements, and I knew I could hopefully get the goal was top 5, and coming away with P2 is way beyond what my expectations. So super happy, and like I said, once again, it was a great battle between all the front runners. We were close all race until the very end. Like Balliet pulled away at the very end, but even that first stage, we were all 1 through 5 were all within a couple seconds of each other. So it was a great race.
Perfect. Emerson, you got anything?
No, man, it was just a great race. Ran from you, Reese. Get the pull. Fortunately, yeah, didn't lead many laps, but ran up well all day today. Up in the top 5 almost the entire race. Congratulations on the second place finish tonight. Best of luck to you next week at Kansas.
Yep. And before I go, I'd like to thank the sponsors real quick. And I'm going to do 100 Down Anesthesia Associates, Healthcare Billing, 213 Simware, Invader Zim, RJ Business Designs, Burgarts. I want to thank Walt for putting all this together, get the healthcare car, and I want to thank Ben for spotting tonight and all the teammates. Supporting me, and we'll keep pushing, continuing on the success. So.
There it is, driver of the number 17 machine, Reese Schaefer, finishing second tonight. Congratulations once again. Best luck to you at Kansas.
See you guys next week.
And there he was. We'll bring on up now driver of the number 61 machine, Lane Hosler, our third place finisher tonight. Lane, a wild send there at the end to try to get second. Didn't come out right. A great battle between you and Reese all night there, or I guess all that second stage there to the end. What more could you have done differently to snag second?
I honestly, well, first off, good to talk to you guys. It's been a while. I really think that I took it too easy early in the stint. Kind of the first few laps, I was like, oh, Reese kind of burned up his tires at the end of the first run, so maybe I could just wait and get by him. And it seemed like the longer it went and the more pressure I put on him, the easier it was for him to hold me off. And then there, that kind of toward the end of that, I was like, well, I might as well send it in just a little. It was like 3/4 of a send, and I knew I wasn't going to get it, so I just backed out. It was a lot of fun though.
It looked like it, Lane. Up 4 from where you started today. You had to pass a lot of good trucks to get to that position. What was your run through the field like today?
It honestly wasn't that bad. I expected to be kind of around the top 5. I definitely did not expect to end up third. I felt like we had a good truck. I worked a lot on long run speed, and a lot this week I toyed with the idea of not trying to not pit and go 40 laps on fuel. But the best I could do was like 38, so that wasn't really an option.
Well, Lane, it's a great finish here tonight in the number 61 machine from Pilot. Next week is Kansas. What can you say about your chances there? I know you can maybe compare it a little bit to Las Vegas, but how do you feel about it?
The mile and a halfs make me nervous with the trucks. It's a lot of semi drafting plate track kind of vibe, and not really my forte. I'll do what I can. See if we can end up front. Hopefully.
Well, there it is. Driver of the number 61, Lane Hosler. Landon, you have anything to add to our third place finishers interview tonight?
I just want to say congratulations on the P3. Definitely a fun battle to watch between you and Reese, and I hope I'm not saying your last name wrong. Is it Hosler or Hosler?
Hostler.
Hosler. Okay, I was in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm probably saying this completely wrong. But again, congratulations. Is there anybody, any family, friends, sponsors, teammates that you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody from Pilot. Definitely Ryan and Brian. I think Brian probably should have been up here. He had some issues on pit road, kind of unfortunate, but definitely everybody from the team. My parents are watching, I believe. I hope. We'll see. So shout out to them, and yeah, everybody else.
Perfect, Emerson.
There it is. Driver of the number 61, our third place finisher tonight. Lane, congratulations on the podium. Best luck to you next week in Kansas.
Thank you, guys.
There it is. Again, a great top 3 run of air. 3 great guys that we got to interview here tonight. Landon, the podium finishers from Sonoma. With that being said, Landon, we do have some finishing results to go through tonight. Let's go ahead and work our way through them. And so, you can see it there. Joshua Balliet, our race winner, 14 seconds long clear out in front of Reese Schaefer and Lane Hostler in their battle for that second position. Ryan Johnson finishes 4th. Brad Herman rounds out the top 5. It'll be Gabriel Ellison, Cole Martin, Michael Politis, Timothy Latham, and Dean Brummett. The top 10 all within 1 minute of race winner Joshua Balliet. Landon?
In 11th, we got Tyler Markle. 12th, we have Kyle Gilbert. 13th, Brian McAvoy. Lane Doyle in 14th, and running out the top 15, Kyle Westwood. Bobby Anderson, we saw him have a couple issues throughout the track, but having a decent finish in 16th. Byron McDonald 17th. Craig Schroeder in 18th. Gerard Poole in 19th, and rounding up the top 20, Austin Purnell.
21st, we have Jordan Sailors. He's 30 laps off the pace. Bradley Brandon, 22nd. Sean Jensick, 23rd. 39 off the pace. Branson McCannon, 45 down. Devin Zimmerman, 25th. 47 down, along with Mark Morton, 26th. Ab Hewins finishes 27th. Justin Michael fails to take the green flag this evening, scored with a 28th place finish. And Landon, that will just about do it this evening. But it was a very, very fun night tonight here in Northern California, a track that you've been able to visit and had the great opportunity to visit here over the years. What was this race like? And I mean, what would you say we should come back here in the future?
Oh, first and foremost, always a pleasure having one of my bestest friends in the booth, being able to broadcast with him, be by his side. Such an honor. Also, this race was, I mean, from what we've seen the past 2 weeks, this kind of falls into that category. I mean, it may not, be everybody's forte with, running left and right and, slower than what a mile and a half or a mile, goes, but it's different. You got to throw up, you got to shake it up a little bit within the schedule, and we definitely did that with this being the first time that we've been to Sonoma. I didn't expect anything else. We definitely had the dominant car was the winner, and then we had great battles throughout the top 10 and, after the top 10. So good to see that everybody had fun, hopefully had fun, and can't wait for next week at Kansas.
Absolutely. I'd agree, Landon. Great battles all day today from the entire field, I guess, other than Joshua Balliet, because it was a lot of fun today. I want to give a quick shout out to all of our series partners, Fiverr, Glytch, and Z Grills. Of course, our main series sponsors, Admin Box, of course. They've been on your screen all day today. Make sure you use code SRN-BOX, BOXX, for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. Of course, a huge shout out to Butt Kicker, our commercial partner for Speed Racing Network. API, of course, our Victory Lane sponsor this evening, and Select Blinds, providing all of our incident replays this evening. Again, huge shout out to Glytch. Also use code SRN10 for 10% off of your Glytch energy drink purchases tonight, Landon. But I think that'll do it from Sonoma. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast for all at Speed Racing Network. Thank you all so much for watching. Emerson Darn, Landon Cardula alongside. We'll see you all tomorrow night when the Z Grills Xfinity Series heads up to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America, or next Wednesday night when the Glytch Truck Series heads to Kansas.